On the news tonight, Osho State government to partner U.S. in combating HIV/AIDS. DSS compliant plots to install interim government. PDP National Working Committee reviews decision on autumn others. King Charles III describes Russia's war in Ukraine as threat. Good evening, welcome to the major report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Osho State Government and the United States of America have agreed to partner in combating the scourge of HIV/AIDS. This was agreed upon during a courtesy visit by the U.S. Consul General, Mr. Will Stevenson, to Governor Ademola Adeleke. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekelekun has more.
The U.S. Consul General, Mr. Will Stevenson, was accompanied by members of the U.S. Consulate to Osun State for the launch of a program that seeks to achieve an equitable and sustainable HIV epidemic control in the state. The project, according to the Consul General, seeks to reduce HIV-related morbidity and mortality, reduce HIV incidence among populations, and to sustain the ability of state governments as well as the civil society organizations, CSOs, to lead and manage comprehensive HIV programs. Mr. Will said the United States is ready to collaborate with Osun State government for a more rapid development, saying Osun State is the only state he has visited twice. First, when the governor was contesting the July 2022 governorship election, and now.
We're here with all of these amazing doctors to talk about our health programs. And when we talk about our relationship with Nigeria, actually the area where we spend as a government the most money, where my bosses, the American taxpayers, spend the most money in Nigeria is on our health programs. And the most successful one of those programs, and the largest one of those programs, is called PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. It is a program to combat HIV/AIDS, and we've been doing it in Nigeria for nearly 20 years. When I was coming here, I was like, oh, this is a big PEPFAR program. I wonder what it's going to be like. And I went and I asked people in Dr. Office, what's it like? What's it like? And they said, you're going to Nigeria. You're so lucky. It is the best PEPFAR program in the world. Wow.
Responding, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke thanked the U.S. government for the support given to Nigeria and Osun State in particular towards the entrenchment of democratic ideals. The governor said the support given by the U.S. government during the last gubernatorial election in the state was largely responsible for the peaceful conduct of the poll that gave him victory. Senator Adeleke sought the support of the American government in areas of education, health, agriculture, and ICT, among others.
We appreciate the United States and lovers of democracy worldwide. We have transited to governance for the good of our people. I seek new collaboration with the United States government through our many development agencies. We are here today for the CD-funded HIV program. We are ready to own the program as a government. We, however, look forward to deeper partnership with the USA and CD across the sector, such as education, health, technology, infrastructure, among others. I call on the United States Embassy to partner with the Osun State government for the hosting of a conference of donor partners. The conference is to draw support for donor backing for the developmental agenda of our administration.
High point of the event was the exchange of gifts between Osun State government and the United States Consulate, where Senator Ademola Adeleke presented some Yoruba cultural items like talking drum, fila abeti aja, among others. It has been Abdurrahim Adekelekun reporting.
In the same vein, Osun State government has reiterated its commitment to ensuring that the state is free from HIV/AIDS disease. Governor Ademola Adeleke stated this at the official launch of HIV treatment in the state. Saeed Adeboye has details.
At the official launching of the HIV surge treatment in Osun State, the governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, explained that the state has been able to strengthen this test for HIV, and thousands of patients have benefited from the medical test and treatment at low cost. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, said that the state is working towards designing interventions that will work for young boys and girls to prevent the infection of HIV. He called on individuals to know their health status and live a healthy life.
We have been able to scale up HIV testing and treatment services across the state. With a focus on equity, strengthening existing systems, building capacity, and promoting stakeholder involvement at all levels.
In his address, the U.S. Consul General, Mr. Will Stephen, appreciated the government of Osun State for always being alive to health-related issues. Mr. Steve assured the readiness of the U.S. to assist the state in its readiness to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS.
It's really, truly inspiring to know that you're out there on the streets every day talking to people, sharing the message, and encouraging people, hey, maybe you should go be treated. We've arrested you for something that you've done, and you're sick. Maybe you should get treated. Hey, you're friends with someone, or maybe you're a sexual partner of someone that we know is HIV positive. Go get tested. Get on treatment. It's going to take that type of effort to reach the nearly 13,000 people that we estimate that haven't yet found their status.
Mr. Kayode Adegoke is the permanent secretary of Osun State Ministry of Health. While speaking, explained that HIV is a public health challenge which should not be handled with levity. According to him, about 1.9 million people are living with AIDS in Nigeria. He expressed optimism that the launch will mark a turning point in treatment of HIV in the state, as it will give a chance of better treatment to people living with the disease. In their separate remarks, the country director, U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Mary Boyd, and the U.S. Global AIDS Coordinator at the U.S. Department of State, Shabin Ali, highlighted the steps taken by the past president of the country to facilitate assistance on treatment and suppression of HIV/AIDS from the U.S. government. They noted that HIV is not a death sentence, as it is now being treated with ART. They maintain that through the HIV surge treatment project, they will partner with community leaders to ensure that those who needed treatment got the best of it. There were goodwill messages from the representative of Osun State Agency for Control of AIDS, Osaka, Dr. Akin Oyebade, NEF1 Coordinator, Mrs. Roslyn Awoyemi, and Osun KP Secretariat, Mr. Jude Onumabo.
Our target is actually to work with the state government, and thanks to the Excellency, who is now the Surge champion. Today we are launching the Surge, and it's a call for action for everybody. The drive is on, and we know, and with everybody handling together, yes, we can actually end HIV/AIDS in Osun State, and we're seeing the vision. We are part of that last mile.
We are prepared. We are collaborating with Osun State government, working through the elements of the Ministry of Health, and we are well integrated into the system to make sure that we take the test to the hard-to-reach areas, nooks and crannies of Osun State, to make sure that we have testing coverage. Everybody knows their status, and also the people that we find, we place them on treatment, and we are also able to get them to viral suppression.
From the office of the Deputy Governor, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
Osun State Office of the Osun State Independent Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, has appealed to political gladiators to improve on voter education. Dr. Agboke made this appeal during the presentation of Certificate of Return to members-elect of Osun State House of Assembly. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosi Oladokun has more.
That on the 18th of March, State House of Assembly election was held, of which the ruling People's Democratic Party PDP won 25 seats out of 26 state constituencies. In order to fulfill the constitutional requirements stipulated by law, members-elect were at State INEC headquarters, Oshobo, where they received their certificates of return. In attendance were the PDP chieftains led by the PDP caretaker chairman, Dr. Akindele, family and friends of the members-elect. In his address, Osun State Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, who took time to highlight the outcome of the concluded State House of Assembly election, said the state umpire did its best in ensuring that the conduct of the election was seamless and largely credible, although there is always a room for improvement. The state REC used the occasion to congratulate and encourage the members-elect to justify the public trust and do their best to meeting their campaign promises.
I want to appeal that political parties should increase the tempo of voter education.
In their goodwill messages, the representatives of service chiefs and National Orientation Agency NOAA saluted the people of the state for conducting themselves peacefully and orderly during the last election. They admonished politicians to achieve post-election violence and form a synergy that will translate into meaningful progress and development. Speaking on behalf of the members-elect, Honorable Koforola lauded the State Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, for having a successful election. Some of members-elect who spoke with newsmen, including Messrs. Wale Egbedun, Ogundare Foloronsho, Laide Ajibola, Kashope Abolarin, and Honorable Femi Kukola, pledged and predicted all-inclusive and prosperous 8th Assembly. High points of the occasion was presentation of certificates of return to the 26 members-elect. Oluwatosin Oladopon, Osbc News.
The Department of State Services has officially confirmed that ascension political class is planning for an interim government to truncate the smooth transition of power on May 29 from President Muhammadu Buhari to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The DSS spokesperson, Peter Afunaya, in a statement said the agency has uncovered plot by key political actors to install an interim government in the country as he identified some key players in the scheme, but did not give details of the mastermind. The nation's intelligence organ, which said the planners of the interim government plot had already held several meetings during which they weighed many options to actualize the plan, according to sponsoring endless, including sponsoring endless mass protests across Nigerian city. Afunaya stated that the GSS will not hesitate to take decisive and necessary legal action against the misguided element to frustrate their obnoxious intention. He enjoined judicial authorities, media, and the civil society to be watchful and cautious to avoid being used as instrument to subvert peace and stability of the nation. Meanwhile, Nigerians have questioned the alarm raised by the Department of State Services about the purported plot by some people to truncate the country's democracy and introduce an interim government as out of place, since the secret police has the constitutional responsibility to nip such in the bud without making media scene out of it. Those who spoke in separate interviews with Osbc News expressed conviction that come May 29, 2023, President Muhammadu Buhari will hand over the mantle of leadership to the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Oluchi Amuda now completes the story.
Of State Services, DSS, is in the news again, and this time around, the secret police, whose responsibilities include counterintelligence, internal security, counter-terrorism, and surveillance, as well as investigating some serious crimes against the state, had alleged that it has uncovered plots by some key players to introduce an interim government and truncate the country's hard-fought democracy. Spokesperson of the DSS, Peter Afunaya, who disclosed this to newsmen, described the plot as not only an aberration, but a mischievous way to set aside the Constitution and plunge the country into crisis. Reacting to this, a legal practitioner, Mr. Bode Babalola, stated that it is high time the secret police started living up to its name by reducing public and media attention on its activities. He maintained that the DSS should have simply invited those it described as the key players for questioning and save the people from undue tension.
The DSS have intelligence report that there's some people somewhere are planning to install an interim government. Should they tell us? I mean, they should nip in the bud if they are sure. But in any case, who is going to install an interim government? It is only the government itself or those in authority. I cannot do it. You cannot do it. The man outside cannot do it.
while also reacting to the claims by some groups that President Muhammadu Buhari will not hand over to the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu on May 29. Spokesperson Osun All Progressives Congress, Mr. Kunle Oyatomi, and the media director of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State, who doubles as a senior special assistant to Governor Ademola Adeleke, Mr. Oladele Bamiji, stated that such claims would remain a rumor since the president is a huge beneficiary of Nigeria's democracy.
The issue is well laid in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We cannot have a timeline and begin again to wobble as if we don't know where we are going. May 29 is real. And May 29 already has a president-elect.
We all know that after any major election, especially this presidential election like that, what follows is the transition, which is already in our constitution. So all other matters concerning that election, we have to go to court. Any other talk aside that, to me, is just mere wishes, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we are in the opposition, but we cannot afford to throw our country into constitutional chaos.
Speaking in the same vein, a politician, Prince Akintola Omolaoye, noted that former President Goodluck Jonathan had set an example in 2015 by handing over to the then opposition APC, which other leaders must follow to avoid chaos.
Buhari, who has been enjoying the democratic system of government for the past upward of 8 years, cannot wake up in a day and say, oh, I won't hand over. Mora demands that even if another person from another political party had emerged as president-elect of Nigeria, Buhari had no reason whatsoever on that basis alone not to have refused handing over properly. Talk less of changing of party from within the same party.
The respondents called on Nigerians to be watchful and collectively work towards protecting the country's democracy for the benefit of all. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party at its meeting today has revealed the referral of Governor of Benue State Samuel Ortom to the National revealed the suspension of Ibrahim Shema, Ayodele Fayoshi, Senator Pius Anyim, Professor Dennis Itieva, and Dr. Aslam Aliyu. According to the NWC, the decision is born out of his powers to take necessary disciplinary action against any member of the party in pursuant to the position of the Constitution of the party as amended in 2017. We'll now go on a commercial break. The major report continues in a moment.
Every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because a little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Now welcome back to the major report. Nigerians have been admonished to embrace Islamic doctrines in ensuring peace and accelerated development in the country. Dr. Musbauddin Urimadegun gave the perspective at the 2023 Ramadan lecture organized by Public Service Muslim Ummah. Soya Onhonide has more.
The annual Ramadan lecture organized by Public Service Muslim Ummah was observed at the State Government Secretariat's Mosque along Bagai-Ibadan Road, delivering the 2023 special Ramadan lecture entitled Islam, a Unique Pathway to Good Governance and Sustainable developments, Dr. Musbauddin Orimadegun submitted that despite being well endowed with many resources and human capital, the country has continued to grope in the dark, while neighboring countries such as Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, among others, have transformed remarkably. Dr. Orimadegun implored Nigeria to be compassionate in their approach, as well as employing Islamic doctrines in ensuring stability and developments, demonstrated by great leaders such as Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who contributed immensely to the growth of Nigeria, which distinguished him from his contemporary. He therefore admonished Nigerians to embrace Islamic perspectives in ensuring accelerated developments, as well as good governance irrespective of political party affiliations.
Most of our leaders in this country were not prepared for the rigors of office before they got it there, and that explains that when they get it there, they had no plan before getting there. Therefore, most of the things you are doing were rather haphazard and eclectic. The one thing that has solved the problem of this world is the solution of Islam. There's no concern, irrespective of what religion you profess, whoever adheres to the teaching of Islam is going to be a spectacular success.
In their separate remarks, the secretary to the state government, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye Timiofede, Oba Muniruddin Adeshola Lawa, Aragbiji of Iragbiji, Oba Abdulrasheed Olabomi, had on the need to demonstrate peace, love, and harmony, irrespective of religion, belief among Nigerians during and beyond the holy month of Ramadan.
We need to show love to our people. Because where there's peace, there's always development. Society that there's no peace, there won't be any development. And love should strengthen the hand of love to each other. And this is time we should show it, especially for the less privileged ones, so that they will be able to observe Ramadan, drink their fast, and with the shooting of things in the country.
Present at the 2023 special Ramadan lecture were notable Islamic clerics from across the state. Sanya Onoride reporting for Osbc News.
Welcome to our sports segment. The Nigeria Football Federation says it will soon introduce a new method of appointing coaches for the various teams. The NFF Secretary General, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, disclosed this at the launch of Niger Super 8 football tournament in Lagos. This is coming on the heels of complaints by Nigerians on the failure of the national under-23 team in the race to Paris 2024 Olympic Games. King Charles III has called Russia's war in Ukraine a threat to Euro-democratic values. Olawumi Okalanwo has details.
King Charles. Speaking at the Federal German Parliament, King Charles pointed how far Britain and its host country had come in putting behind their conflict-ridden past as they underlined the common values they now share. He noted that the scourge of war is back in Europe, and the war of aggression against Ukraine has brought unimaginable suffering on so many innocent people, adding that the security of Europe as well as their democratic values are under threat. At least 8 devotees have been killed and around a dozen rescued after about 25 people fell into a well at the Hindu temple in Madhya Pradesh state, India. The worshippers plunged into the step wall, a stair-lined communal water source, after the flooring covering it collapsed in the central city of Indore. Olawumi Okolawo, Osbc News.
To end the major report on Osbc TV, here again are the main points. Osun State government to partner in the U.S. in combating HIV. PDP reviews decision on autumn and others. King Charles III describes Russia war in Ukraine as a threat. That ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Adebare Jimakide. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thank you for being there. Good night.